So for our first topic, we're going to look at using formulas to solve problems. Note, a formula is a mathematical equation that relates two or more variables representing real-world quantities. Example 1. Pediatric nurses use Young's formula. And Young's formula is C equals A times G divided by G plus 12. And this formula is used to calculate a child's dose of medicine, C, when the adult dose, A, and the child's age, G, in years are known. So suppose the adult dose is 600 milligrams. Determine the dose for a 3-year-old child. So again, recall our formula is C equals A times G over G plus 12. And what we know is the adult dose is 600 and the child's age is 3. So A is equal to 600 and G is equal to 3. Next, we sub these values into our formula. So C equals 600 times 3 divided by 3 plus 12. And the rest is calculator work. So on your calculator, you would type in 600 times 3 divided by, in brackets, 3 plus 12, or just divided by 15. And when you do that, you end up with 120 for your C value. So therefore, the child should have 120 milligrams of the medication. Example 2. A landscaper wants to estimate the cost of fertilizer for a triangular garden. One bag of fertilizer costs $19.98 and covers an area of 900 meters squared. So if we want to find the area of a triangle, there are multiple ways to do so. So one method, recall, is that the area of a triangle is base times height divided by 2. But this means you need to find the height of this triangle, which requires that we would need the cosine law to find an angle, and then one of our primary trig ratios to find the height. Another way to find the height of a triangle is to use what's called Heron's formula. And Heron's formula states that if you want to find the area of a triangle, it's equal to the square root of S, which is the semi-perimeter, times S minus A, times S minus B, times S minus C, where A, B, and C are the sides of the triangle. So let's use this formula to see what we end up with. So let's say we say A is equal to 150, B is equal to 200, and C is equal to 300. So notice for our area formula, we also need what's called S, the semi-perimeter. So let's start there. So S is the semi-perimeter, and that's equal to the A, so 150, plus the B, which is 200, plus the C, which is 300, all divided by 2. And for this example, we get a semi-perimeter of 325. Next, we need to find the area. So the area is equal to the square root of the semi-perimeter, so 325. And then again, 325 minus the A, which is 150. Then 325 minus the B, which is 200. Then 325 minus the C, which is 300. So just to simplify this a bit, we have 325. Then we have 325 minus 150, which is 175. 325 minus 200, which is 125. And then 325 minus 300, which is 25. Next, we can multiply those four numbers together, and we should get 177,734,375. So on your calculator, we just need to evaluate the square root of that number, and you should get approximately 13,332 meters squared. So now we've found the area of the garden. So this is the area of the garden. But what we were asked for, if we go back to the question, is how much fertilizer, or what is the cost of fertilizer. So we know one bag covers 900 meters squared. So let's start there to figure out how many bags of fertilizer we need. So the number of bags is going to equal the 13,332 divided by 900, which gives us approximately 15 bags. So we're going to round up to make sure we have enough. Next, we need the total cost, and the total cost will be the number of bags times the price. So we have 15 times 1998, which gives us a total cost of $299.70. And last example. How many buckets are required to fill this rectangular container? So how many of these buckets are we going to need to fill this container? And all this is a ratio of the two objects that we have. And to fill a container, we're thinking of volume. So we're going to need the volume of both these containers. So if we look at a formula sheet, the volume for a rectangular prism is length times width times height. And the volume for a cylinder is pi r squared times the height. So let's start with the rectangular prism. So we can say the length is 100, the width is 20, and the height is 40. And that gives us 80,000 centimeters cubed. And that's for our rectangular prism. For the volume of the cylinder, remember that we need half of this to get the radius. The radius is going to be 9 centimeters. So we have volume is equal to pi times 9 squared times the height, which is 18. And this gives us an approximate volume of 4,580 centimeters cubed per bucket. So next we want to find out how many buckets will fill the container. So the number of buckets is equal to the volume of our container divided by how much a bucket can hold. And this tells us we'll need approximately 17.5 or 17.5 buckets to fill the container. So organization is an important part of solving multi-step problems. So these questions below may help you with your planning for your solution. So again, what formulas or relationships can be used? So in our example 3, we used our volume formulas. What numerical information is given? So that could be the dimensions of the object, or like in our first example, the adult dosage and the age of the child. What do you need to find or estimate? So always know what it is you're looking for. What units of measurements are used? And the last thing is, do you need to convert? So when you're going through your homework questions, there may be some that require conversions. Good luck.